What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Now it's the fall season, so I wanted to play on the lines of that. So we're going to do a smoked, now hear me carefully, we're going to do a smoked tomato basil soup with a smoky grilled cheese. If you're curious, just sit back, relax, and welcome to the Bistro.
All on my lane, you all on my lane. You ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you need no. Plenty bitchin', whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a seed note. Switching, keep it pimping every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
And we're back. So here are our ingredients for our tomato soup, which is gonna be more like a tomato bisque because we're using rice to thicken it. And if you know anything about bisque, traditionally rice is used to thicken that soup. And so let's go over the ingredients. We got a 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. Now we in the heart of the fall right now, and there's no tomatoes growing at all. So if you harvested some tomatoes from the summer and you was able to puree them or stew them, and you got them saved for this recipe, you can use those, and that tastes a lot better. But if you going into the fall season like me with no tomatoes, don't grab the tomatoes from the store because they taste just like water. You won't get no flavor out of them. So make sure you get the San Marzano tomatoes. They're picked at the peak of the season and canned. So these are some awesome tomatoes. Then we got some basil. Like I said, we got rice, and it's just regular long grain rice. We got chicken stock. If you need help making chicken stock, I'll link that video down in the description box below. We have an onion, garlic, we have butter, and I'm going to use some coconut sugar to balance out the acidity in these tomatoes, and you'll see me add that a little later. But step one, what I want to do is get my basil prepped. So I'm going to take 1 leaf of this basil. Let's do 2. 2 leaves of the basil, and I'm gonna wrap those up and make a little basil cigar. And I'm actually chiffonade these here. So I don't need many, but that's what I'm gonna use for the garnish. And the rest of the basil, I'm gonna actually put it in the soup hole, and then we'll just discard it at the end. Next step, we're gonna go ahead and prep our onion. And for this tomato soup, I'm only gonna use half of this onion. I'm not gonna use the whole onion. So and knife cuts are not important when it comes to soups, especially like a tomato soup, because we're gonna puree all this up at the end. So just cut it rustic, however you like to cut it. So I'm gonna just go in half, and some big chunky pieces. Then we're gonna get our garlic prepared. So and I want maybe let's do 2 cloves. And we're not even gonna worry about chopping this up either. I'm just gonna crush it. Get it on our plate. And so we're gonna get our stove set up, get our tomatoes in there, and get them working. Like I said, we're gonna add the coconut sugar, a little salt, and then we're gonna let it go. We're gonna sweat those onions first, and then add everything into the onions. So we'll get that situated, and we'll be right back. So go ahead and get our heat on, and we're gonna go in with maybe, say, 2 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and add in our onions. Since we're sweating the onions, we're gonna go in with some salt, bring out that moisture. And you can either sweat them down to the caramelize, which will give you some sweet notes, or until they're translucent. I'm gonna go kind of in between, especially since I'm adding in coconut sugar. I don't want the onions and the sugar to be too sweet. We're going with our tomatoes. We're going with our basil. And like I said, we're gonna remove that basil at the end, so don't worry about adding all that basil in there. We just want to extract the flavors out of it. Then going with our chicken stock. Going with our coconut sugar, a little more salt, and finally with our rice. So we're at the part where we want it to be. So it reduced a little bit. I taste while I'm cooking throughout the cooking process, and it tastes absolutely amazing. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get it ready to blitz up, and we're gonna blitz it in our Vitamix. And we also, going back to what I said in the beginning, we're gonna make this a smoky tomato soup to pair well with our smoky grilled cheese. So we're also gonna smoke it, and I got a couple different types of wood, but the wood I'm gonna choose today is I'm gonna smoke it with some cottonwood. Now the deal with cottonwood, it's gonna give us some fruity elements, but it's gonna give us a subtle smoke. So the smoke is not gonna overpower the tomato soup, so we're gonna still get all this goodness from this tomato soup, but we're gonna get some smoky elements as well. Okay, now we're getting ready to blitz our soup up. You wanna remove that cap off your Vitamix and grab your kitchen towel, because with this soup being hot, it can build up a lot of pressure if you had a top on, and it could pretty much explode on you. So remember to move that cap, and we'll just use a kitchen towel. Got our soup here. Like I said, we're gonna remove the basil stems because they done their part. And if you got any basil that, still in there, don't worry about it. Like I said, we'll blitz it all up, but you didn't want that big stem in there. So, and I don't have the larger Vitamix, I have like a medium sized one. So I'm not gonna put all the soup in here at once, because with it being hot, it will expand. So we're going about that much. We're gonna put our top on there. Make sure your speed is at 1, because you want to gradually add speed to this. So go ahead and click it on. Okay, we're good right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the remaining soup in here. It should all fit. So we got all our soup in there. Before we get ready to smoke it, we're gonna just post it a little bit more. So go ahead, like I said, make sure it's turned on low. Okay. So you still see a little chunks in there. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go ahead and light our cottonwood. Go ahead and turn our smoke gun on. Okay, so we got smoke coming. And then I just wanna pop this top. Add the smoke in there. We'll go ahead and kill our gun. Now, go at the top, towel on top, and then we'll puree it the rest of the way. And it's catching that smoke that was on the top and just incorporating it into the soup. And that's what we wanted to do. So it's gonna kind of get loud because I'm gonna go ahead and crank it all the way up to the max to puree it to its finest. We got the soup where we want it to be. So it's smooth, and we're gonna go right back into that pot. My goodness, I wish you guys could smell this. So amazing, the aroma that it's giving off. Like I said, this is gonna be the best smoky tomato soup you ever had in your life. So we're going back in that pot. That's our soup. So we're gonna get this cleaned up, get our stovetop set back up with our saute pan, and we're gonna begin to make our smoky grilled cheese. Okay, we got our ingredients here for our grilled cheese. Now, like I said, I got some hickory smoked Gruyere, and then I got some hickory smoked cheddar. All right, for the back side of the bread, some people like to use mayo. Some people like to use butter like me, or some people like to use mayo and butter mix. For this sandwich, I want to strictly use butter. The mayo kind of give it a little tang that I don't want into this grilled cheese, for the simple fact that I don't want to cut away from my smokiness and then my sweet elements from the peach. So that's why I didn't use any mayo with this. But if you want those features in your bread, go ahead and use a little mayo or mix the two together. But for the reasons, I gave you my reasons why I didn't mix it or use mayo today. So just go on the back side of the bread with some butter. You want your butter to be softened, just set it at room temperature. Especially while you're making this soup. I mean, it got pretty hot in the kitchen. The butter seemed like it softened up pretty quick. But we're gonna go with a good layer of butter on the back side of the bread. We'll do that to both sides. Or if you prefer, you can put the butter in the pan and do it that way. But this way, it'll be a lot easier because I'm gonna set both breads in the pan individually and give it a second to heat through, and then I'm gonna sandwich them together. So got the butter spread it through there, set that aside. Then we're gonna go with some of our peach preserve. Like I said, we're gonna do it on one side of the bread, and want to kind of do a little light because you don't want the peach to overpower anything. The peaches there are just to strictly complement this sandwich and give you some sweet elements to balance out all that smoke. So how we're gonna layer this, we're gonna go in with a slice of the smoked cheddar. And I got it sliced super thin. When you go to the deli, you know, they ask you how would you like it sliced, and I got thin. I think the next size up will be like sandwich slice, but I knew I wanted to do 2 per because I wanted to kind of spread over the sandwich. So I'm gonna go in with another one on this side here. And then we'll go in with some of our hickory smoked Gruyere. And this is sliced the exact same way as well. And you'll see I'm gonna kind of go toward the edges with the Gruyere because as they melt, I want to kind of like go over the grilled cheese. And then just for camera purposes, we'll go one more slice there in the middle. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. We get our pan here, and then we'll start to cook our grilled cheese. Want to kind of control this heat as well. So we're going on medium low heat, and I'm gonna go in with my bread. Cooking this grilled cheese is gonna be almost like a slow process because I want to melt that cheese in it, but I don't want to burn that bread. So I'm gonna go low and slow.
Sorry to all my chef friends out there. I know this part gonna kind of be unbearable to watch, but I should have cut the crust off the bread. Shout out to Sean for pointing that out to me. Sometimes when you record and you just forget certain things, and I know as chefs we see through a different set of lenses. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. But all in all, it was still a good grilled cheese. But yeah, I should have cut that crust off.
And there you have it, our smoky grilled cheese with smoked cheddar, smoked Gruyere, and peach preserve with our smoked tomato basil soup. It's a good dish for the fall time. So, you know, like every video, we gotta go in with the taste test. I put a little cream on the top. We didn't actually need the cream because adding the rice gave us those creamy notes, but just for camera purposes, I just threw a little cream on and kind of thin out the richness of the tomato. But awesome. So immediately I get little hints of that cottonwood, but it's not really harsh. It's just like subtle notes. So I'm going with the grilled cheese. Fantastic. And that peach preserve give us some sweet notes that just complements it well. And so all in all, this dish is awesome. I don't know what we'd call it. I guess the big smoked tomato soup or big smoky or whatever, but this is so good and amazing, especially for the fall time. It'd be so awesome. So this recipe, you gotta make it, and when you make it, please tag me in it. And now, like always, like, comment, subscribe. This channel is growing. If you got ideas or recipes you'd like me to do, put them down below, and hit this video with a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Hit this video with a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so you always be aware when I upload new videos, which is every week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. But this here, awesome. And like always, I want to thank you guys for accepting the invitation into my world, my house, my kitchen. Until next time.